Hello and welcome to the High School Huddle. Along with Ronnie Phillips, Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you. We get set for the high school football season, just a few short days away. Today, we take a look at the Stillwater Pioneers, the defending state champion Stillwater Pioneers. Before we look at their schedule and give you our predictions, let's take a look at one of our great sponsors here on the High School Huddle. The High School Huddle is presented by Generations Church. Love God, love people, serve both well. Contact Generations Church by calling 405-282-6848 or visit them online at generationsguthrie.com. Stillwater Pioneers, it can't get any better than they were a year ago. Perfect 13-0. 6A2 football was fun to watch all season long.
Sure was.
Deer Creek, Choctaw, Muskogee. It was just a fun season. Expecting the same here in 6A2. Of course, the big news for Stillwater in the offseason, head coach Tucker Barnard is now coaching high school football in Arkansas.
Went home.
Kind of came late, Stillwater wasn't able to do a big search for their coach, so they're going to have their coach internally take over for this season, and then they'll take a look at it from there. But no more Gundy.
No more Gundys. All done with Gundys.
All done with Gundys for the time being. Before that perfect 13-0 season, they're 8-3, 9-1, 12-1, 12-1. No reason why Stillwater Pioneers, although they'll be young in spots, won't have a chance to another 10-win season.
Yeah, and they've got some young athletes coming up. They've got a young man that's competing for the quarterback spot, just going to be a sophomore, already has 3 Division I offers, one of those being a Power 5 school. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously got some talent. Just see, anytime when you have a coach leave, and listen, you cannot blame Coach Barnard for leaving. Sometimes you got to make decisions best for your family. I think he's getting paid a couple $100,000 a year over in Arkansas. Congratulations, Coach. Good for you. I know that wasn't an easy decision for him and his family. Even talked about that. We saw some stories, and so we'll see what kind of effect that happens. Usually what happens, it either brings a team close together or it tears them apart. I think it'll bring them together. I think this Stillwater team's got a bright year ahead of them.
Yeah, Stillwater loses their football coach and baseball coach after the season here. So we'll see how it all plays out. Let's take a look at the Stillwater Pioneers, and it all begins on the road in Arkansas, Greenwood, Arkansas to be exact. And there are the Oklahoma schools we're all familiar with. And I guess Stillwater won't sell too many tickets at home for the first 4 games of the year. It finally goes in their favor toward the end of the year with only 1 road game in their last 6 games of the season. So you got to fight that early road schedule, and then things looks like it can be healthy before we may have to wait for a district champion all the way in week 10 when the Muskogee Roughers come to town.
Yeah, and I think it's it is a tale of 2 seasons when you look at this, right? As I look at this, I see out of the first 5 games, I see 1 game to me that's going to be a really, really tough game. Of course, Booker T always has a lot of athletes. We've kind of forgotten about them the last couple of years. That could be a mistake. But then Sand Springs, very good football team in there as well. The big game at the end of the year, Muskogee Roughers, highly rated this year coming into the season as well.
No doubt about that. And, like you see Sand Springs, it's just a team you just can't take for granted. I mean,
right.
You have to show up in there. I get guilty of looking, okay, Sand Springs, hold on. You got to look at it that way. So let's take a look at what we think will happen. Of course, it's probably complete opposite of what we think, but we're kind of in the neighborhood with 3 different records here. Yep. I will start off, and I think the Pioneers will go 8-2. I think the bookends. I think the first game of the year and the last regular season games could be losses for the Pioneers, and so I will go 8-2 with 8 victories in the middle between Muskogee and Greenwood, Arkansas.
Yeah, I've got it quite a bit different than you on this. I mean, we're in the ballpark, but I got the Pioneers running the table. I've got them going 10-0 this year. I think no question that Greenwood, Arkansas game. Greenwood last year 11-3, finished runner-up in Class 6A football over in Arkansas. But I think they'll get it done, and I think at the end of the season, that Muskogee team, again, injuries will play a part, but I think one of these young quarterbacks, now they've got 9 games under their belt. They're going to be playing better. They're going to be comfortable in the offense. They're going to be used to coming out under Friday night lights. I think with the coaching staff change, I think that's going to bring these kids together. I've got them going 10-0 heading into the playoffs.
I was back and forth on Stillwater Muskogee. I'm going with Muskogee. They'll have the experience at quarterback.
Best athlete probably on the field.
Best athlete. And that was that's what made it over the edge for me for Muskogee. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think you guys have excellent. It's 10-0, pretty aggressive. Thanks. And then 8-2 is maybe aggressive on the other end of it. So I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to go 9-1 for Stillwater Pioneers.
Right in the fence again.
Yeah, it's going to be right in the middle there. Greenwood, I think that could be their only hiccup of the year. Again, Greenwood's going to be a pretty good ball club then. And you got the rivalry game in Norman. It should always be fun. Stillwater got the better part of them last year by a lot, I believe. And again, Muskogee's going to be another one we can't wait to watch.
Yeah, and remember now, those Booker T and Sand Spring games in the middle of the schedule, you don't know. I mean, there's always some games here that could trip these guys up, but I really believe that Stillwater believes. I think I think the coaching change, I think that's going to bring these kids together even tighter. I think a lot of people will rally around them because of that. So I see another perfect 10-0 year in their future.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt when you have Heston Thomas at wide receiver and Josh Ford, Oklahoma State commit at tight end. So
yeah, the Ford. We didn't even talk about the Ford kid, who's an absolute monster. 6'5", 260, 265, plays that DN position, a great tight end, and a physical freak. Last year in the state championship game, limited action because he was a little beat up. But just seeing him on the sideline, I remember sitting up there in the press box at Chad Richardson Stadium going, who the daylights is that? I mean, he looked like a D1 kid last year as a junior. I mean, he's just a physical freak. So they've got athletes everywhere. It's going to be another great year for the Pioneers.
Pioneers, first 4 games on the road. Get your program out in week 5 or so and see who the Pioneers are, because unless you go on the road to watch them. It'll be fun to watch, though. We invite you to watch the High School Huddle all season long. Our show begins August 16th. Every Wednesday night of the high school football season. It starts at 6 o'clock. You can follow us on YouTube. Simply search Second Banana Media, subscribe and like so you're notified of when we go live with our shows or our videos throughout the entire season. High School Huddle is also on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Be sure to find us there. All comes together at secondbananamedia.com. That's where you can get all the centralized information. Best of luck to the Stillwater Pioneers and best of luck to your high school football team this season.